right? And a lot of people ask, what do you guys do and how are you winning, man, and all that good stuff. So you guys ready for the formula, or should I save it to the end? Ready. All right, so here's the formula to win with my econ, right? And extra digit movement. You guys ready?
Yes.
It's baking soda, water, fire mixed with brine. See, some of y'all ain't get that. Some of y'all ain't get that. Some of y'all gonna get it in the morning. But let me help y'all. If you feel that Brian Bean is the dopest mentor on the planet, get on your feet. I've never used that recipe in any other capacity, right? See, Brian was born on both sides of the track, raised on both sides of the track. For me, just one side. I'll let you figure out which side. But baking soda, water, fire mixed with Brian, man. And I know this is for new folks, right? But I'm gonna tell my veterans one thing before we get started. Some of y'all ain't got enough Brian in your recipe. That might be why your stuff ain't that potent. I'm just saying. We're going to get started because I ain't going to say that out loud. So we're talking about 369 financial transformation, guys. This thing, and for those of you who don't know me, I am H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur. I do my absolute best to bring practical, proven, wealth-building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. So that's who I am. Enough about me. You'll get a little sprinkling of my testimony as we go through today's slide deck. But man, give it up to Brian one more time. We're going to get started. So 369 financial transformation. If you need a transformation in your finances, then we're going to talk about that today. We're going to give you some solutions, right? Everybody's got two main objectives that they're dealing with, and they're trying to accomplish these things every single day in our lives. Objective number one is you got to eat today, right? All that means is I'm trying to feed myself, clothe myself, keep a roof over my head. I got to have transportation and that sort of stuff. So that's today, right? Most people, if you like, 95% of Americans are making their money with labor, so their labor is taking care of their today's objective, right? Today's lifestyle. But guess what? You also have to eat tomorrow, right? And if you're making all of your money with labor, then chances are, latest studies show that 3 out of 4 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So you don't have anything left to take care of future lifestyle, which should be paid for with your investments. Right? So once you take care of your today, most people are running out of resources to take care of their tomorrow. So if you don't have a solution for freeing up some money to start investing, then you're going to struggle financially. So we're going to show you a solution really quickly that's going to help you not only meet today's feed you today better, but also free up some resources that's going to allow you to eat tomorrow as well. It's 4 challenges that are keeping people from those 2 primary objectives. Challenge number 1 is the silent income killer, also known as inflation, right? Basically what that simply means, we're not going to go into a long thing about the dollar and where it came from and all that, but the cost of living is always going up, raises on your job, and keeping up. As a result, you're falling further and further behind day after day financially because of inflation. Challenge number 2 is the chainsaw massacre, aka taxes, right? What you got to understand is taxes will eat 1/3 of your income if you don't have a strategy. So we're going to talk about some strategies going to help you with silent income killer and the chainsaw massacre. Is that all right? Yes. Challenge number 3 is the curse. Most people don't realize that they are in debt or dealing with the curse because of challenges 1 and 2. Taxes and inflation, right? So the cost of living is going up, raises on the job ain't keeping up, I'm losing 1/3 of my check is evaporating before I even get it, therefore I go borrow money to catch up, right? We finance pretty much everything, our house, car, electronics, furniture. How many guys got a cell phone on lease? Don't answer that. But we finance everything. A lot of people even financing groceries, right? You put that on a credit card and you pay that off little by little over time. I mean, it is real out here, right? So you got to have an answer for debt. If not, you're going to struggle and continue to struggle. Lastly, there is big business. Now, I like to stick on big business, but we're in a tight schedule. But just understand, big business is responsible for a lot of our strife, not because of they're evil and they want to get you out of your money and all that kind of stuff. They do, because we're in a capitalistic society. Just understand this about big business. There is some personal responsibility and accountability that's due, right? So you have to own some of this stuff. But I understand big business gets to spend billions of dollars to understand the psychology of working class people. And the psychology of working class people is what? Hey man, I work and I feel like all I work for is just to pay bills, right? That's what we feel like we're working for. So when that's the psychology, big business knows how to tap into that, and they've got in cahoots with the government and have a calendar on the a holiday on the calendar every single month of the year, even if it's not an official calendar holiday. What's the holiday in August? It's not official, but everybody's going back to school. Right? That's not an official holiday, but at the same time it is. So they understand that, but like I said, personal responsibility and accountability, I don't want some of that. You know, I make those decisions, but guess what? If I had billions of dollars to figure out how to keep my money from them, I'd probably have a strategy or two, right? So big business is in your pocket, and they will take the last of your little bit of money after you lose it to debt, taxes, and inflation starts to eat them up slowly. So today, we're going to talk about strategy and not sales, right? Now, don't get it twisted. There's nothing wrong with sales. In fact, I don't care what you do on your job, it is in support of sales. If you're not the salesperson, even if you're the janitor, you're keeping the building clean. Why? So customers can come in, feel comfortable, and buy something. So if ain't nothing being sold, you ain't getting a paycheck. So there's nothing wrong with sales, right? But we're going to talk about strategy. The only problem with sales is people have an STD when it comes to sales. Right? Now, I'm not talking about get your mind out the gutter. I'm not talking about that kind of STD, but people are scared to death when it comes to sales. Right? They are. In fact, only 90% of people or 10% of people are willing to sell. Only 5% of those people will ever get good at it. There's only 10% willing to give it a shot. There's only 5% will ever get good at it. Strategy, on the other hand, or formula, right? Baking soda, water, fire, mixed with brine. Right? Formulas, strategies, anybody can apply, right? And in school, I wasn't that great in math, but there's a thing. One thing that I remember from algebra is a formula or process called FOIL, right? First, outer, inner, last. It's all I know. It's all I know about algebra. First, outer, inner, last. But guess what? What's your name, young lady? Tara, if you apply first, outer, inner, last to the same problem that Terrence applies first, outer, inner, last, you both gonna get the same result as long as you apply it correctly. That's what strategy does. See, everybody can't sell, but everybody can use a strategy. So that's what we're gonna focus on today is strategy. But before I do that, you heard me give it up to my man, Brian. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. But let me tell you a little bit about this guy and what's so phenomenal. And guys, we don't have to be here because he doesn't have to be here. But he is, and here's why. He started out as a student at Morehouse College, graduated with honors and that kind of thing, but saw very quickly that his three-figure paycheck every 2 weeks was quickly becoming 2 figures after all of his bills are paid, and then he put gas in the car and it's probably down to 1 figure, right? How many guys have paid all of your bills and you ended up with a single figure? Now, I mean, you paid everything, you good because you paid everything and not getting, but man, you can't even go to a movie, but all your bills are paid. So he quickly figured out that this isn't going to work. Got with some mentors, they taught him some things about sales, believe it or not, and he made his first $1 million in sales, right? Told you, there's nothing wrong with sales, but because he didn't have strategy, he lost it all. But here's where it gets good. He got with some other mentors who taught him some strategies and he got it all back. And because of that, he's since gone on a crusade to help everybody he comes in contact with to transform their finances from 3 figures every 2 weeks, 4 figures per week, 5 figures per month, 6 figures per year, and eventually a 7-figure career and he was able to retire at the right young age of 22 years old. Hasn't worked a job in 20 years. So strategy on top of sales, man, makes you dangerous. So Brian put this thing together called the Extra Digit Movement, and that's why we're here today. So I thank God that Brian didn't lose it all, get it all back, and then go sit on his laurels, because he very well could have. How many of you guys know that there are millions of wealthy people in this country, in this world, and they ain't telling nobody nothing? They ain't telling nobody nothing, but he's willing to give up his time and share. Man, Brian don't need to be here. Brian's good. But he's willing to give up his time and share with us. So that's why you got to show some love for the guy. You got to really, really, really pay attention to what he says, because anybody that can become a millionaire twice, come on, man. Come on, man. All right, man. Y'all ain't ready. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about today. 369 Financial Transformation. How many guys want to transform your finances, improve your cash flow in 3 days? We got you covered. In 3 days, we're going to help you minimize your taxes, minimize your debt, minimize your expenses. That is our first strategy. Everybody say three.
Three.
We have 3 strategies. Everybody say three.
Three.
We have 3 strategies. I don't want you to get hung up on 1, 2, or 3. I want you to know that we have 3, and all 3 of them can benefit you. Cash flow management is strategy number 1. Minimize your taxes, minimize your expenses, minimize your debt. Strategy number 2, in 6 weeks, we're going to help you understand the power of developing business income. Business income, right? There's some reasons we're going to get into that, but the way you make your money in America determines how you tax in America. Yep. Right? The way you make your money in America determines how you tax. 95% of all Americans make 100% of their income through labor. That's why they pay more taxes than anybody else on the planet. And if you're single with no kids,